Okay, everyone knows what a midlife crisis is. It's where someone who's middle-aged realizes that they are however old and they get scared that they're that old because they've sort of bumbled in life and they get to the age they're at. It can be like a random ass age, it doesn't have to be like 50, but if it could be like 48 or like 54, like some random age. And people just get fucking scared because the passage of time, in my opinion, I don't think a lot of people can actually conceptualize. They just ignore it and they get to a point in life where they have to confront it alongside the whole uncomfortable truth theory. But I do want to know if there's anyone out there who's had a early life crisis. What would one look like? Would it look like someone who regrets how they spent their childhood, or they believe that their childhood they didn't live how they'd wanted to? They have lots of regrets. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of the crisis? It's to induce and to try and stimulate enough vigor to change the direction. If anything, it's the complete polar opposite to complete comfortability. Okay, you have no motivation to change in that instance, but with a crisis, you would take drastic action. When I was at university for the first semester, I had to do actions to rationalize my shortcomings. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to go to sleep at night, to put it like bluntly, because for a lot of people, ignorance is the best thing when going to sleep. I think the more ignorant, if you can feign ignorance to get the sleep that you need for the next day, that's a really good thing. There's a lot of times in life where I haven't so much not been able to get to sleep, but when I was revising for A-levels, for example, my revision technique was shit. I mean literally shit. It was open the textbook and copy what was in the textbook. It wasn't actually actively learning. I was putting in the hours, but they didn't mean anything. So when I was doing the practice papers, I'd get shit scores. What would that mean? It'd mean I wasn't comfortable. And to an extent, I wasn't ignorant to my lack of competence in the subject. And I'd wake up at night in these night sweats. It was crazy. I actually, when I got back from Barcelona, I told this before my parents. There was a really interesting guy on the taxi back from, it would have been one of the airports in England. He was a bodyguard for high-profile celebrities and figures, and it's crazy the luck you get with that shit. But I got the Uber. He picks me up. It's like this fucking 6'5", massive black guy. And it's just such a fucking good guy. I loved him so much. Just so grounded, so like relatable. It's like someone who like you can really connect with easily. Yeah, and we got talking about his experience at school and then how I was experiencing that now. A-levels are really good for setting your stress tolerance for the rest of your life, because your conception of the stress is very important. You can look at the stress upon you as like tension in your body, it's bearing down on you, and you're just feel uncomfortable. You feel chronically inescapable. This state is just, you can't shake it off. But if you flip that paradigm, you can view it as a superpower. If you can't get to sleep at night, that could be because you don't have enough energy. You could be too stressed. You're not ignorant enough to life, which you need to be to an extent to get to sleep. And you need to do some work, which will put that anxiety to rest, temporarily, of course. Or you could view the stress as a superpower, as something which you can direct and channel to create something. And creation is the best thing, whether it's an essay or a video or a story, anything it is. Anything which you can make, which people can interface with, is a very powerful thing. And that energy you put into it, if anything, the more stressed you are, the more energy you have to fucking channel into that shit. Where was I going? Yeah, that was it. Or is it? No. Yeah. I'm really easy to be open with strangers, actually. It's very weird. A lot of people are very shy and closed off to strangers. But anyone who I know I'm not going to see for very long, I'm almost a bit weirdly open with them. And I quite often overshare, which I don't think people actually dislike. Because if you can humiliate yourself around them, they then realize that they don't have to worry about humiliating themselves. Because if you've done it to yourself, then it puts them at ease, puts them in a comfortable environment, and it's a very powerful thing. I learned this from the people who I connected with at my school, in high school. Yeah. Those are my lessons for today. I don't know what I'll title the video. It will either be early life crisis or you need an amount of ignorance to go to sleep. I think it'll be early life crisis. It'll be like skip I don't know what I'd call it. I'd call it like prevent midlife crisis, have an early life crisis. Yeah. I don't know how to phrase it. No, all right. Another thing, I'm self-conscious. I'll just say this because I want to make sure that I get this shit out there. Because it's a constant battling the thoughts which circulate. When I'm looking myself in the video right now, when I'm like this, when I'm speaking, or like this a little bit, I sort of get a little bit self-conscious with the face fat, because I don't know what it is. Beauty now is a lot more important than it's ever been, especially for men. They're almost unrealistic, and any form of like face fat is very noticeable when you're always looking at the top 1% on Instagram. So anyone who is going through that, you're not alone. And remember, they're very like, not everyone's like that. Get your status up, get your money up. Not now though. Get your experience up, then your money up, then your status up. Or get your status up before your money up. Because with status comes experience. With experience comes status. So, yeah. That's me checking out. Thank you for watching. I haven't been posting much very lately because I've been at home. But I think that's it. Last thing. I get an urge to create videos like this when I feel more alone. Not lonely, got to shift the paradigm, when you're alone. Because everyone's alone at some point in the day. Every time. And if that's for more extended periods of time, then this is a good way to vent and feel like I'm having an impact. That's just me for today. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one.